Welcome back to Apex Investor. This is the daily update. Haven't done an update since yesterday, so we're trying to keep it consistent over here. And I'll just go through the highlights for the day. Uh, and my phone's about to die. Okay, here we go. So we're gonna look at the volume first. Volume champions, I call them. And I apologize for this week. It's going to be very hodgepodge. It's not going to be the usual where I show you my screen because I've got a lot of projects uh, that I have to work on, and I just don't have the time to do it the way I've always done it, or not always, but the way I've done it previously. So you're gonna have to put up with this low quality, this low quality format. So, but we're not gonna skimp on the content. We're gonna make sure we cover everything we've been covering the way we've been doing it. So, looking at the volume champions, number one is LTNC. I think they were on the list yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. They had over 1.95 billion volume. And in terms of percentage champions, actually there were none, so that's good. So we saved some time there. Moving on to FinViz, we're going to look at the stocks that hit new lows today. So let's look at the screener on finviz.com. Shout out to the man who showed me this ticker on his YouTube channel. Can't remember his name right now, but you know who you are. So I'm going to look for signal. The signal is new low. There's so many different parameters. I'm going to go for, let's look for oversold first. Let's look at that. Nothing. Okay, nothing showed up. All right. I'm going to look for new low. And in terms of percentage, it's only small drops here. 5% is the biggest change among these stocks. So let's see if we can organize it in a different way. So 12% is the biggest change. And Clover Health Investments took the biggest hit today. It looked like they hit a new low. Yeah. Clover is actually a pretty good stock, but I would still wait because we need to find the bottom for the stock. So don't buy that stock. Just my opinion. I'm not a financial advisor nor a financial expert. So take what I say with a grain of, actually a mountain of salt. I'm just some dude on the internet. So why are you listening to me? I have good instincts though. So I'm going to look at not new low. I'm going to look at top losers. Let's see what shows up in our filter there in our screener results. Oh, we actually have a few. Uh, the highest volume for all of these is 31 million for the top loser here. And this stock is called INSG, Inseego Corp. So let's take a look at that. So we didn't get a bite on our usual new low, so we had to go to top losers. So that's a new one. I didn't know about that one. So you learn everything. You learn something, not everything. You learn something new every day. Otherwise, you're not living correctly. So this is an American stock, communication equipment and tech company, Inseego Corp. And looking at their chart, let's look at the stats on this. Their market cap is over $1 billion. That's pretty good. Their institutional ownership is 56.9%. That's great. That's really good. Shorts floating is 25%, over 25%. That's great too. And their 52-week range was between $3.91 to as high as $21.93. Their average volume is over 4 million, which is great. Today's volume was over 31 million. So that's a panic sell if I ever smelled one. RSI was at 23, so this is oversold. Anything below 30 is oversold. And anything I think of 70 and above is overbought. So let's look at their price. $10 today, $10.58. So not quite at the 391 we're looking for. However, it did fall 29.61%. So I personally would wait because I am an Apex investor. I'm not going to buy this uh, until it hits $3. But I mean, it's up to you. It's not a bad price to get this at that amount. Let me just look at the chart here. Yeah, it looks like getting this between 8 to 10 is a really good deal. Anything under 10 is really, really good. I mean, this is a good price on its own, but I would personally wait for a price between $8 to $10. As you could see, or you can't see, but as I can see, the 52-week range is 391, so around $4 to $22. So if you buy this right now at $10, you could possibly double your money. And looking at the maximum chart, well, not really maximum, but at least the chart over the last, what's this, 3 years, you can see their stock actually has gone up from the low $4. So I personally would wait. I would wait this out. I wouldn't buy this at $10. I would wait till it hits, like I said, $4. Don't buy this for more than six. If you want to lose money, that's your choice. But personally, 4 to 6 is right in the money for this, and you can possibly make at least $14 to $20 because it's just looking like 13, 14 is where this there's a bit of resistance there for the 14s. But more recently, it did hit resistance at 20, 22, 21. But I really don't see that happening in the near future. I see it going back to the historical resistance, but that's just my opinion. Okay, so that's all for that one. We're gonna look at the meme stocks now. The meme stop starting with GameStop and AMC, and I just watched the interview with Trace Trades, and he interviewed Uncle Bruce. That was a great interview. Really, really good. A must watch, really. I'm gonna be posting my reaction to that video, to that interview. So I was watching it for the first time, and I recorded myself watching it. I did a bit of commentary, nothing too crazy, but just wanted to watch it. And you know, if I didn't do that, I wouldn't have watched it. So for from the beginning to the end, or at least the Bruce interview, I'm only interested in what Uncle Bruce has to say. Like, not that I don't respect anyone else, but he's really the guru. So when he talks, I pay attention. Um, GTT, a stock we picked a while back, had an all-time low. I think it was like at $1 or something. It's up like 217. So that was a good pick. I'm glad we caught that. But let's start from the top here. So GameStop today, I believe, was in the green, if not mistaken. Oh no, they were in the red. So they were overall, they were as high as okay, they were as low as $1.12, and they went up to 133, which is great. Um, and they eventually closed at 118 and 18 cents. And after hours is 120 right now. Or I think it closed at 8 o'clock. So after hours at 120 on the last trade. Volume was 33 million. That's pretty good. Average volume 39. So it's a little under the average. Again, I was going to say Dr. Bruce, but Uncle Bruce said March 19th is the date to watch. So we have 17 days till this stock potentially explodes to the 500s again, or maybe higher. So if you haven't bought GameStop, do buy it. Buy it at the dip, whenever that dip is. I mean, today's dip was 112, so you might have to put your price for that or underneath. Personally, my price is 50. I'm waiting for it to go back to 50 again. Um, I'm not going to buy it for any more than that, 50, 60. And yeah, so GameStop is looking really good. It's sitting pretty and it's going to explode. This is not a matter of if, it's a matter of when right now. That's the way it's looking. Because this stock is so manipulated. You can only hide that uh, they can only hide what they're doing, the hedge fund people, for so long until it explodes in their face. So it's going to explode in their face in 17 days. Every Friday, something big happens with this stock. AMC, they were trading between $8.51 and $9.40. They eventually closed the trading session 8.93. So they had a pretty good day too. It was pretty much about the same as GameStop. Their volume was 76 million, and that is let me see, is that above their average? No, it's about half the average. Okay. So yeah, I think that's all for AMC. I don't know what else to say about that. That's also going to explode on the 19th. So it's sitting pretty as well. We'll never see those go back. I don't think we'll ever see them go back to, not ever, but it's highly unlikely we'll see AMC go back to 5, and highly unlikely we'll see GameStop go back to 50. But I did put my price there just in case so I can save it. I'm going to save that stock from going below that. Because once it goes below that, the hedge funds win, I think. I think that's what is on the plate there. What other stocks we're going to look at in terms of winners? Cost was down 14%. HCMC took a big hit today. No pun intended. It's down 20, almost 28% today. And I was thinking of buying this stock, so I don't know about that anymore. This looks like this pump and dump is over. I personally would buy this at 0.0002, so three zeros and a two, or 0.0001, and then just wait for the volume to come back and, uh, you know what, and just cash out once it goes back to 0.001. So I'll be making like 100% or 1,000% off of this because the volume is back and people are interested in this, but it's just a matter of waiting it out. And it hit a peak at 0.005, so that was pretty good. Um, we'll see. I guess that court case didn't pan out too well for them because that was supposed to be the end of the February, if I'm not mistaken. But they have pretty healthy volume. I think it was over a billion. Yeah, 1.93 billion today. So it's still kicking butt with volume. For the Earth Corp is always over a billion too, and oh, it's not today. 693 million or 631 million. They took a hit too, 25% drop for the Earth. So those two penny stocks took quite a hit today. I think they're kind of, maybe they're like the GameStop and the AMC of the penny stocks. I don't know. Um, Clover, then they took a big hit today. Um, who else are we gonna look at? I think that's it. Yep, that's all. Okay. Now we're gonna move to Wall Street bets, and I can't pause the recording, so you're just gonna have to bear with me as I peruse all this BS on Wall Street bets. And I'm sorry to say that, but Wall Street bets has been compromised majorly. So you can't go in Wall Street bets thinking, oh, everything here is right. No, a lot of it is bunch of crap. So because Wall Street bets, we've moved on already from Wall Street bets. It's been corrupted. Okay, RKT. I already looked into that stock. It's not worth a dime. It's not a good stock. I mean, unless you want to make like $5 a year. I don't know. It's really not doing much. Someone said they made a lot of gain. Well, they probably have $1 million. That's probably why they made gains with the RKT. GameStop broke through the pennant. Yeah, so it broke through a level that it needed to break through. So that's good. I can't trust RKT. It's too suspicious. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a bunch of BS. Don't go to RKT. It's trying to capitalize on this meme and the emojis, and we use rocket emojis. So like, oh, these idiots will buy anything to do with rockets and diamonds. So let's make a stock ticker symbol DMD. They'll buy that crap. Why would you? Don't be an idiot. Don't buy RKT. I've been looking at the stock. Well, not been looking at it, but I saw at the 5-year chart. In 5 years, only went up like $5. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Really? So unless you have $1 million and you bought it at 5 and went up to 10, like you're really not gonna make much with that stock. I mean, whatever it's worth. I don't know how much it was worth, but it doesn't fluctuate very much. It's not volatile at all. You want volatility. 10K worth of GameStop is promised. Wow. Thank you for buying. I feel like I own GameStop, like I'm an owner. Movie time on the moon. Okay, Texas lifts mask mandate and says all businesses can open 100% capacity as health officials warn not to ease restrictions. So their governor announced that uh, they'll be lifting um, mandates. Wait, mask mandates? Wow, that's huge. Uh, and they'll be able to operate 100% capacity. I think that's including movie theaters too, bars, restaurants, and whatnot. And people are like, I don't want to get political here. It's all right, whatever. You know what? You don't have to get political. It's fine. It's probably better not to, in my opinion, because, people on the other side are going to be like, oh, no, I supported that guy and I hate that guy or whatever it is, right? So it's better to just focus on what we're here about as stocks. And personally, I don't want to make this channel political at all. I want to make it zero politics, no politics in my channel. I don't care who you supported or who you hate. I don't give a damn. So just don't talk about it here. We claim to be a hero of retail investors, but you're really a villain. Yep. Just focus on stocks. Let's focus on stonks apes. Here we go. So we're still looking at Wall Street bets. So bad news about Texas lifting the mandates. What that's going to do, not really the mask thing. It's more about the 100% capacity thing. So that means AMC will be able to open all their business. They can open all their businesses, their theaters. So they're gonna make some revenue, baby. 17 years old, 217 tickets to the moon. Wow, how does a 17-year-old afford 217,000 shares? Oh no, 217 shares. Okay, but still, whatever. Smart. That's a smart 17-year-old right there. I doubt he's 17. He's probably lying. He's probably like 70. 17 years old. I'm actually 70. The industry players again. The industry players again. GameStop. I don't get it. This is Uncle Bruce. Thought I would have a quick run through of the mid February 13 Fs to see who has the biggest positions against GameStop. Here's the list if anyone is interested. It covers everyone with positions over 30 million. I know the majority of this has already been quantified elsewhere, but I wanted to make sure as I don't like to trust information unless I see it myself. As always, this is not financial advice. It is said if you know your enemies and know yourself, you will not lose 100 battles, but if you do not know your enemies and you do know yourself, you will win one and lose one. And if you don't know your enemies or yourself, you're going to lose every single battle. This leads me down the path of looking to who holds the big positions against EXR Tehe. I don't know what that is. And some of the other ETFs. Oh, XRT. Why don't you just write XRT? Whatever. So I don't know what this guy's trying to do. It's like the FBI is watching you. XRT? What'd you say? Storm his house. Like, really? No one really cares. I mean, the hedge funds are already like manipulating it so much. I don't think spelling it that way is going to change anything. So, surprise. It's all the same people. No surprise at all. Biggest surprise to me was to see UBS and Citigroup in there. If you need any reason why the entire market shakes when GameStop goes up, just look at the market value of all positions of these organizations. What you have got to remember is that when some of these organizations unwind their positions, the algorithms follow and it has an amplification effect. Billions of dollars of positions being unwound can amplify into the tens of billions very easily due to HFT trying to get an edge. I think it's hedge funds. You also need to remember these positions are the most likely way under what the hell is he even saying? What are you saying, Ape? I don't understand your post, man. You need to remember these positions. Oh my god, this guy's grammar is off the charts. Not in a good way. I'm getting a brain aneurysm with this guy's post. Okay, I'm not even gonna read his post. It's a bunch of BS. So basically, he's saying they're getting shorted. I mean, is that a surprise? Really? Don't waste my time, Ape. Come on, man. Hurry up. Basically, they're shorting it, and they're gonna be in for an ass rape. That's what he's saying. Um, yeah. Just a heads up. It has come in the comments. Some people have misconstrued this as the filings for everything before February. Oh man, whatever. I don't know, man. RKT and CNBC already. I'm not talking about RKT anymore. I don't want to see a post with RKT in it. If I see R and K and T, I'm not even gonna say anything. Just gonna pretend it's like an ad. Only 85,000 shares available for short on Gamestop. So that's according to Wall Street Bets. Take it with a grain of salt. I don't know if that's true, but okay, that's all for Wall Street Bets, the Reddit version. So let's go to wallstreetbets.win, wsbets.win. Tends to be better information there. Sometimes it's just a bunch of people asking for help, but that's all right. My picks are working again. Okay, who's this woman? Okay, if you have to be reminded to not sell when the price is in the hundreds, I mean thousands, not hundreds. It seems GameStop is basically going to end the day where it started. Down to 55,000 GameStop shares available for the hedgies to short, so it's even lower than that now. We're getting close. They shorted 90,000 and only managed to drop the price $7. Oh shoot, this is going to be incredible. On the 19th, it's going to probably 1,000. Like it isn't even a joke. It's going to 1,000. 500 is going to be like it's going to be like what was 500? That was nothing. They just shorted another 5,000 shares. They only have 80,000 left for hedgies to short. Not one share back. I didn't ask me how many I sold hedge funds. Guess how many I sold? This is how many I sold. And how many did I buy? Ton. I bought a ton. That's all you need to know. And I'm just an average ape. But again, this battle is not between the apes and the hedge funds. It's between the billionaires and the hedge funds. And even it's even between the hedge funds and the hedge funds. You've got hedge funds are going long now, so it's not all about the hedge funds, it's about the shorts. So if you're a short, you're screwed. And I saw negative comments on my channel. You know what? I take that as a badge of honor. I'm so happy that I got a negative comment because now I'm in good company. I'm in great company. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that someone took the time to say something at all about my channel. So thank you very much. I appreciate it that you spent time to do that. Whatever, positive comment, negative comment. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me. It really does. I mean, Apex Investor isn't about caring about what people say. And I really don't care. I don't care if it's negative or positive. It's about buying low and selling high. That's what it's about. It's about investing. It isn't about people's comments. Otherwise, I'd be Apex commenter. You know what I mean? But I could care less. So I don't lose a second of sleep about it. And I just mention it because, it's nice to get that attention. negative, positive, whatever. The U.S. is in a bubble about to burst. Let me just take a sip of water before I continue on. All right, let's start over. The U.S. is in a bubble about to burst. Prepare your tin crypto. Buy guns, ammo. Get emergency food. I'm all about this. That's actually a good post, but it has nothing to do with stocks. But whatever, advice nonetheless. So it used to be 100,000 shares of GameStop available to short. Now it's 80,000, and now it's like 55,000. So it's gonna keep dropping till it's zero, and that's gonna happen. Let's see if it keeps dropping by like let's just say conservatively 20,000 a day. We only have like a week till all these shares are gone. So by the 9th, oh man, by March 19th, Uncle Bruce is right. It's gonna go to 1,000. Where are the mods? I'm a rookie and holding all my game. Stop. Question. Okay, I'll read it because he's a rookie. I'll look out for the rookies. What happens when the hedge funds are out of shares to short? Then they gotta cover. They gotta cover. They have to cover. Eventually, they have to pay up. They have to pay the piper. They can't not cover their shorts, or else they go to jail. So that's what happens, and they can't keep putting it off because they either pay the interest, accumulated interest over whatever amount of time, or they just cover the shorts. But either way, they're paying. They're gonna pay for it. Um, okay. All right. So someone posted a picture. I don't see the difference. What's the difference? I don't get. They posted the Wall Street Bets guy with black hair. Um, I don't get it. Okay. They stole a picture. Okay. Wow, wow, whatever. First big win of 2021, betting against, I'm not going to say his name, but Zaiden's entire cabinet. Out of the 22 positions held, 12 made money. Okay, that's good. Oh man, this is kind of a waste of time going on here now. Wall Street treason and crime. Current pandemics follow a deeper agenda, says hedge fund manager Martin Armstrong. Long but well worth the time. All right. You know what? I'm going to just read that one. I'm not going to read any other post on Wall Street Bets or when, except this one. So I guess I found something. Here we go. Long post, but he said it's worth it. So let's look at it. Wall Street treason and crime. So why can't I control the volume of BitChute videos? All right. So what is he talking about? Good info. Thank you. And I just played from 35 minutes. He said that's where it starts. Let's go to 35 minutes. And there it is. Here, see if it'll play. Etc. So, all right. So, naturally, the person they put in charge was an academic. I think it was MIT he was from. And first words out of his mouth is that we're going to find the guy that shorted this market down. And I just said, excuse me. I said, do you realize that every investigation since 1907 has begun with those same words? And nobody's ever been found. And I said, do you even understand how the market functions? Oh, yes. Well, I borrow stock from this guy and I sell it to that guy. I said, okay, fine. So how can some short position always outnumber the long positions? He's borrowing from one person who's still long and he's selling it to another, creating another long. I mean, so how can he outnumber them? And then he just looks at me and I said, well, what about futures? Every contract's got to be matched. And he's just looking at me. He says, well, I teach finance. I said, that's very nice. Okay, I have over $3 trillion under contract that I advise on. I said, I actually talk to the real people.
And he said, well, what makes it go down? I said, very simple. I said, you've never traded. When you look at this, and virtually everybody's long in a market. Something happens, something news, whatever, something scares them. They turn around, they try to sell, and there's no bid. All of a sudden, stocks start dropping dramatically, and because everybody's on one side, and the only person who has the courage to buy in a panic is the short person. Then you got these politicians, oh, we have to outlaw the shorts. Well, then the market goes down even further because there is no short guy to say, okay, fine, I'm going to take my profit. And nobody's going to buy a falling knife. It's just not going to happen. A market will crash faster than it takes to go up. Why? Because human nature takes somebody a long time to trust before they buy. All right? But when they lose confidence, they lose it very fast. It's just human nature. And I was giving a lecture in Tokyo. It was just an institutional session, and this one guy bribed somebody in a hotel to get in. And he came up to me and he says, look, I apologize, how I got in. He said, I just had to talk to you. And he had bought the very high of the Japanese stock market the last day of 1989. And not with a small amount, with $50 million. What made it even more interesting, it was the first time in his life he ever bought stock. And he was probably in his mid-60s. Now I'm very curious as to, I said, well, what made you actually buy the very high? And he said brokers had approached him every year for 7 years. And they said, look, the stock market goes up 5% generally every January. They finally convinced him. He watched it for 7 years. All right, fine, you're right. He bought on December 31st, the very high, and lost basically about 50% of what he within 3 months. So that's what happens. Everybody, you've got the last guy who ever would have bought has now just bought. Now there's no new buyers left to come in. So all of a sudden, somebody turns, they want to try and sell, and there are no buyers there. It just falls rapidly, very, very fast. So
Interesting.
Academics don't understand this. They've never traded. That's why I find there aren't that many of us who were hedge fund managers through all this stuff. But we were the only people that ever saw this and how it actually works on a global basis. Granted, nobody wants to go back and teach. I said I would write a book, maybe or give a guest lecture on this, but we have different times. You can't keep teaching the same theories that are 50 years old.
Right. Very interesting, Martin. Thanks for that story. Changing the subject. Central bank digital currencies.
Okay, so that was an interesting viewpoint. I don't agree with everything he said, but the what he said when it comes down to like the need for shorts is right. That you do need shorts. I'm not saying you need people to manipulate the market and to abuse it and to bring people out of business. That's the wrong use of shorts. But the correct use, a short actually fulfilling their purpose in a good way, uh, benefiting the market is when they actually uh, they catch people who are over greedy. So if so many people are buying into Tesla and they're saying, "Oh, it's going to go to like 10,000 or whatever, 2,000," and then a short says, "You know what? I don't think it's going to go that high." So they say, "I'm going to short from 2,000 to whatever to I don't know, the thousand." So eventually, it does go down that much, and they make a lot of money because people were too greedy. It was overbought. So that's one of the few instances that I can think of where um, where short is actually doing a good job being a short. And what he said is also true that if when it comes to GameStop or AMC, and we're all just holding our shares, and no one is buying them, that's going to drop the price too. So there always has to be, in order for the price to not just stay where it is, but to go higher. Like say it went, if we wanted to go to 10,000, you still need people to buy. Um, that also makes sense too. But on the other hand, because this situation is so unprecedented, and you've got millions and millions of shares that are naked shorts, and the time will eventually come where you know uh, the short sellers, the hedge funds have to pay up. Those who are on short positions, they have to you know the tax man is coming to collect. Basically, justice is coming. They got to do something about it. They can't just pretend that they're not shorting. They have to reveal their true position and reveal that their stocks don't actually exist. Whether it's through a share callback where they call back the shares, or they do they issue a dividend. So all the fake stocks are just they they don't materialize. That's gonna screw them up big time. So whether it comes in whatever avenue, the shorts are gonna get screwed. So they're gonna have to pay up. So I don't really think. I mean, what this man said is fundamentally true, but when it comes to GameStop, it isn't, because we have such a unique scenario that uh, we have such a unique scenario and unprecedented in history where all these shares that are not actually owned by shorts, they're gonna have to cover their lies, and they can't cover it by lying anymore. They have to actually cover it with their own money. So, oh, something's wrong with my mouse right now. Let me just plug that back in, and we'll continue the stream. I'm gonna just finally read. I'm gonna read off RGME, and then we'll close the stream. All right, so here we go with GameStop stock subreddit. Still loading. I didn't make any moves in a while because I'm saving my money for the crash that's coming. I'm too much of an apex investor to waste my money in a time where I really do believe the stock market is going to crash. So I've been monitoring it very, very closely. I'm looking at the Dow Jones index every day, looking at the Nasdaq every day. I'm not even really looking at stocks besides only GameStop and AMC. I track those, but most other stocks, I just look at the general uh, state of the market. So I look at I'm looking at the S&P 500. I'm looking at the Dow futures. I'm looking at the Nasdaq futures. I mean, once it starts to plateau, and I'm seeing signs of that. For example, Dow Jones all-time high in the last 52 weeks was 32,000. So if we go back to 32,000, that doesn't mean it's not going to crash. It just means that uh, the balloon is going to pop. It's like the more you inflate it, the more it's going to pop. So eventually, it's going to hit resistance and it's going to go down, crashing. We already saw a little bit of that back in March, where it went under 20,000. It was down to 18.5. But then I got to thinking, what if that was the crash? What if that's what a crash looked like under the previous president? What if that's what it looked like? Because his policies were very much pro economy, pro stock market. There was less regulations. It was more of a entrepreneur kind of economy that was created. So the infrastructure was really good. Foundationally, it was really strong. So, I mean, regardless of your political inclination, if this was the crash and only lasted for like 3 months, that is amazing. So I had to ask that question: was that the actual crash? Because it's hard for me to say. But regardless of whether it was or not, there's going to be another one coming. whether it's coming this year, next year, or the next 7 years. But you have to always be ready. It's why I take my own advice seriously. That I'm going to set aside 50%. So just in case, when that not in case, but when that once that crash happens, I'll be ready for it. I'm just ready, waiting to use my money for that 50% and greater crash, possibly 70% crash. Um, yeah, so I mean, if we just look at the most recent one that just occurred, it was as high as, I'm going to just say 30,000, just to round it off, and it went all the way down to 19,000. So it didn't drop 50%. That was more like what is that? 3 times 3. That was 30%. That was about a 30% correction there. So it wasn't as bad as the previous ones, but again, I think that's because of the policies of the previous administration. But if we look at 2007 to 2008, where it fell from pretty much 14,000 all the way down to 7, that was a 50% drop. That was pretty big. And then we look at 2000, where it did drop um, all the way to 7, 8 from about 11. So that was a good, what was that? Maybe 30, around 30% ish. So again, these are corrections that only come every 7 years, it seems, because this was 2003, 2003 ish. And then this happened, the next one was 2008. And then there was supposed to be one um, 7 years after. That would have been 2015, but we didn't really see a big correction. It was more of a little, the tiniest of dips. It went from like 18 to like 16. So that was like, I don't even know what that is. What is it, like 10% dip? It wasn't much of a correction. And then we saw a little bit of a dip uh, in 2018 from, it was only maybe like less than 10%. But the big one was in March, where we saw the market go uh, again from 30 all the way down to 19. So that is roughly, again, I think 30%, around 30% or more, but not more than 40. I think it was around 30, 35% drop. So that was pretty interesting. So it only lasted, again, fully recovered from March 15 all the way up to November. So it only took it like a good 6 months. Only took 6 months to recover. So I'm not sure if that was the crash. I mean, we have to ask that question. I can't just pretend that didn't happen, because it did happen. That was something of a crash. It was like a short crash. It was like a crash where everyone said, "Okay, let's be efficient and just repair everything," instead of being stupid and and not doing the right thing. So I don't know. So that's what I'm doing. Once you see it go up, you can expect it to go down. But if you see it going down, you can expect it to go lower. So, I mean, the market is favoring a crash at this time. I can see it definitely going down again. Another time going to 20, or 20 and less, 20 and under. But it's up to us to prepare for that. Again, I tell my viewers to set aside 50% of your money to prepare for the crash, so that when it happens, you will be ready and you will invest once it drops to 50%. Or in this case, what just happened recently with a 30%, maybe buy 30% and just wait a little. But it's up to you how you do it, but just make sure you're ready and you have your 50% money ready to go. All right, so let's go reading. Let's go to read Reddit, GameStop, GameStop stock. Having some technical difficulties, so please bear with my phone as it loads. If I read my laptop, it would take 10 years, so that's why I'm not doing it there. And I have other things to do as well, so I don't have time to process the videos and upload them and all that. And I'd rather just do it like all in one shot, so it saves me a lot more time. I can uh, have some affairs to attend to this week, so that's why it's going to be this way, just temporarily for now. And then next week and into the future, I hope to just do it in a way that people can see my screen. So All right, I'm having trouble with the browser right now. Let me just restart the browser. Apologize for that. Let me see if I can open again. Reddit, come on, Reddit, wake up, wake up. We got viewers. Come on, come on. All right, 150K members currently in GME and 15.9K online. And that usually when I log in and I'm reading this forum, it's about that amount. So let me just try it my my laptop since my phone is acting up. So let's try the laptop. It's giving me a bit of can't be worse than the laptop, right? All right, let's see who looked first. All right, well the laptop is going. And I'm gonna have to vet these posts very carefully. Although these posts are much better than Wall Street Bets and WSBets.win. Oh man, I love this place. Look at this post. Mods, please start auto deleting all the posts with keyword RKT. Thank you. Thank you for that. Hedge funds are pumping RKT. My goodness. Yep. There's no next GME. There's only GME and AMC pretty much. Stop talking about other distraction stocks. There's only GME. Well, you know what? I would argue there's GME and AMC. It's those two only for the memes. For 3 weeks, CNBC reported that hedge funds closed their shorts. Then just last Thursday, CNBC reports that hedge funds lost $2 billion on GME in the past 2 days. How does everyone on Wall Street Bets have better access to data to know that hedge funds didn't close their shorts? Oh man. What's up with your research, Jim Cramer? Are you intentionally lying? Or are you an actual puppet that just spouts whatever nonsense he's being told by the people pulling his strings? Yep. So I'm not going to say anything about RKT anymore. I'm just pointing out that GME is doing the right thing here. They're saying don't give it attention. It's a bunch of BS. GameStop's weekly growth is 164%. Just a reminder to the people complaining about dropping 2% on a day. Everyone's up. Every upvote is another share of GME added to my portfolio. I would upvote, but oh, I can upvote here. There it is. Hopefully that works. Although when you ask for upvotes, that usually gets deleted or banned or something. Um, hey Gabe, I got us an idea. Let's pump Arcade. Oh goodness! Quit your whining. This was always supported to get bloody. Or are we focusing about all the racket? Oh goodness! Just don't talk about it. Don't feed the trolls. Can't believe they thought we would fall for a stock. Just don't mention it. Just ignore it like it's an ad. Don't even mention it, people. FINRA data shows over 68 million GME short volume over the past 3 days. Even while on the SSR list, short volume represented 50%, 57% of all volume today for the past 6 days straight. Wow. So Webull has you automatically set up for stock lending program. You have to turn it off, or they, meaning the hedge funds, can borrow your shares, so they can short GME or anything. Turn that off. So you can put. Let me look at this image. It seems important. You can turn it off where your shares cannot be lent out. I got removed from Wall Street Bets, so I'm posting it here. Stock markets with Bruce explains why a stock split would add kerosene to our rockets. Wow. We'll bring it up. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Oh, sorry about that. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. JP Morgan. Yeah. $1,000. Yeah. Each. Yeah. 1,000 each. Mhm. Yeah. Whoa. Wow. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Mhm. 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 Yeah. Not in that way. Yeah. Uncle Bruce with the bomb right there. Wow, that was huge. That was huge. I don't know if you could hear that, but basically he said GameStop could do a stock split where one share would be worth 10, and they would also issue a dividend. So that would mess up the short so much because there would be a 30-day warning before the stock would split. So just that hype alone, the anticipation would drive the price up to higher heights, and then the dividend would screw them up even more. And then after that, there's an option for GameStop to talk to JP Morgan and the biggest banks and say we're going to put an offering of whatever X amount. What he said specifically, I think 500 million shares at $100 a piece, and it's trading at 1,000. So why wouldn't they jump on that? They're like, whoa, this is a great deal. So they would get 100. They would get $5 billion of funding just like that, boom, in a snap of a finger. Okay, an exit strategy that guarantees you won't sell all your shares before the peak. Okay, so I'm going to read that. Oh, someone painted a painting to the moon. And they kept deleting it. It's a nice painting with the Wall Street Bets guy in an astronaut suit jumping with diamond hands. That's a nice painting. I don't know why. I'm going to upvote that. GME or not GME. WSB on Reddit is a bunch of BS. I'm not going to go there anymore. Like, forget them. Forget them. They're a bunch of BS. I'm just going to GME. I'm not even going to, I'll go to wsbets.win just to take a look, just a scan. But overall, I haven't really had anything too good from there in a while. I might just go to GME from this point on until the squeeze happens again. When it happens, the 19th. 100K share minimum. We lost 70 billion. You lost 70 billion so far. Oh, to the hedge funds. Oh man, that was great. Okay, what? Hey, hedge funds still get a boat? No, man, don't give them a boat. Looking at the media happily, cheering the meme stock. Well, GameStop is fascinating. Yeah, it's best not to listen to the mainstream media at all. Zero, zero, absolutely zero. Everything they say is opposite of the truth. Roaring Kitty just tweeted this. Message is straightforward this time. It's a cat playing chess, so I guess it's like checkmate or something. Yeah, his cat just did that to the board, so it looks like things are gonna get effed up. 4 out of 10 of Reddit's most upvoted posts are about GME. This is huge. We are good people. We are helping GameStop and Reddit grow their numbers and punish the bad and evil for their greed. Don't you dare back out of this. Again, they're just posting hit pieces and hyping up some stocks we don't even give a damn about. So, GameStop bull case I bought online for $20 less than the PS store, delivered the same day in less than 2 hours. And you know what? I'm gonna go buy something from EB Games or GameStop, whatever they call it. So I'm gonna see what they have and see if I can order online and just pick it up tomorrow because I completely support this company. You know, they're a great company. Um, okay, I think that's all for this part of the. Oh, okay, Amazon, get out of the way. Yep, it's all GameStop. Yeah, there was never a become a millionaire in a week play. No, it's not gonna take a week. It's gonna take maybe months, maybe years, but it takes a while. You don't build Rome in a day. Personally, I have a 5-year plan to become a millionaire. If that's what the Father wills, then it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I'm going to keep at it and do my best. Okay, I think that's it for those tabs. I have 4 more to read, so I'm going to close the main tab and look at these 4. So this one says Webull has you automatically set up for stock something. I'm not sure what that says, but let's take a gander once that loads up. All right, it says here Webull. Let's take us out of the I can be free. Okay. Webull has set up for stock lending program. This means you have to turn off. You have to turn it off, or they can borrow your shares, so they can short GameStop or anything, whatever you have. So turn that off for your fellow redarts. Where is that? Stock lending income program. So that's where you needs to be exited. The stock lending program allows your shares to be loaned out. So stock market participants can short stock. Why the hell would they even allow that? That's so corrupt. I hope my place doesn't allow that. How do I go that account type? Okay. Um, you earn a small percentage of revenue. What? Who gives a damn? I don't want them to short anything that I own. I mean, that's so corrupt. I mean, if I own the stock, why would they short something I own 100% of and I paid it in cash? Doesn't make sense. What would a benefit to a split be considering the market cap and your percent would be the same? The price would go, let's say, $12.5 a share from $125 a share. A lot more people would be able to buy the stock. Yeah, exactly. Let's say I can buy one stock for $125. If it splits into 10 and it's worth 12.5, I can still buy 10 and 20 people could buy one stock for 12.5 that can't afford 125. That gives more buying power. Yeah. Would the value of my portfolio be the same? Yeah, it would. It would. Yeah. There's a lot of newbies, but it's good that we're patient with them. Same with Tesla. The split didn't change the value, but more people were able to buy, and the price rose 50%. Um, yeah, it did. Yeah. Okay, so that's all for that tab. I'm going to close that one, and we have 2 more to go. An exit strategy that guarantees you won't sell. So this sounds important. That you won't sell your shares or all your shares before the peak. So a lot of the fear, uncertainty, and doubt on this sub has pivoted. As many of you have noticed, it has become a lot more subtle. It's no longer aimed at getting you to sell immediately. It's no longer trying to convince you the squeeze is made up. This is good news because they gave up on that. but they haven't given up completely. So, what's their new hustle? Just take a sip. Basically, they want you to sell early. They want to push the idea that this thing is going to go down in a matter of hours or even minutes. LOL. That when you see a big number in your account, you'll be so scared of losing it that you'll panic sell. They may or may not orchestrate a fake squeeze where the price jumps and quickly comes back down. And maybe that's what happened last week. I don't know. But why would they do that? Doesn't make sense. Any and all of this is to scare you into panic selling too low. And I'm sure some people did when it went to almost $200. We do have a couple genuine problems, though. We have no idea. Number one, we have no idea what the magnitude of this squeeze actually is. And actually, we do. It's like 1,000, 10,000, maybe 100,000. But realistically, 10,000 it's in the cards. They have done a very good job of concealing the truth in this regard. The other problem, number two, is a psychological one. Regular Joes like us aren't used to dealing with large numbers. Is that true? I guess some people aren't. Hedge fund managers are, so the idea that one share would be worth seven figures is unimaginable to us. I mean, when you actually see it, yeah, it takes a while to adjust, but when you adjust to it, you're going, okay, that's what it's worth, and you're used to it. But they don't want us to get used to it. Once it gets to that value, say goes to 1,000, they're going to want to drop it immediately back to 500 or whatever it was before the previous day or previous hour. They want to halt trading and not just halt it for an hour. They're probably going to halt it for the rest of the day. Um, but that's probably a bad move to halt it when it's at 1,000. The best idea would be to bring it up to 1,000. It drops to 500, and then you halt it because that's the momentum is going downwards. It isn't to them, so they're used to all these commas. They want to use this advantage against you. So they're used to the big stage. We're not, but it's a mindset. It's just about you make your decision and you set your price limit. Like for example, it's 10,000, and you know nothing less than that. So you're firm with that. So anything less than that is just you don't compute. You don't acknowledge it. It's like it's foreign to you. You don't it's invisible to you until you see that number in five digits, the 10000. My strategy to mitigate these problems, my target to start taking profits for the actual squeeze is $100,000. I'm not selling anything on the way up until 100,000. If we don't make it to 100,000, I'll still take my profits after the peak. It's not going to peak and crash. We'll have days to sell. Yeah, that's right. It'll actually be days. He's right. There's not a pump and dump. They have to buy a lot of shares. It's going to be slow and painful for them. Don't believe any FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt that tells you otherwise. Now, more importantly, once it hits my target price, 100,000 for me. For me, it's 10,000. I start selling. However, I only sell a maximum of half my position, and that's actually really smart. So, for instance, if your price target is 10,000, so you sell half at 10,000, you still have half. So if it goes up to 100, you can sell that. So you're not, missing the boat, and you're not kicking yourself in the head. Um, yeah. So I reserve the other half to sell after the price has peaked. And you know what? I know this person's saying 100K, but it could go more than that. So maybe they're selling at 100K and then it goes more. Then they'll sell at like 500K, depending on just what the full potential of the stock is, because we really don't know until it gets there. And I have to do something here. Oh, not that. I didn't have to do that. It's just my TV's about to shut down, and I guess the background is all messed up now. Let me just check and see what it looks like. Probably looks different now. Yeah, I look a lot brighter. All right, so just bear with me. I can't really fix that right now. So he said, yeah. Why would I do that? Because I have no clue where the peak is. I only know after the price has come back. After the price has come back down. If the peak is 1 million, I sell my remaining shares after it comes back down to 700,000 or 800,000 or something. Actually, that's a really good strategy. I'm glad I read this post because I was going to sell it all at 10,000, but now this guy actually has a really good game plan, and that's sell half at your target. And once it hits the peak, then you start to sell. Or maybe do what he's saying and wait for the peak and then you sell. Because, for instance, those people who sold GameStop at 200 or 300, and I was one of those people, I sold at like 100 something and didn't wait for the peak at 500, you really missed the boat. But then again, it pretty much went from 450 to what was it, like 160 in one day. It dropped a lot. So I don't know if it's gonna. I hope it is as this man or whoever this poster is saying that it will be days, but we'll see. We'll see about that. Time will tell. Okay, I sell my remaining shares after it comes back down to 700 to 800K or something, reserving half of my shares until after the peak. This ensures I will not make the mistake of selling everything too early. And that's actually is a really good post. Gonna upvote it. I thought he was just talking out of his butt, but he's actually Sofa King Disco. Yeah, actually, he's onto something there. That's actually a pretty good post, and he's got a lot of awards. That's nice. I don't know why people are giving people awards. I don't know where they're getting this money, but that's all cool. I don't know. That's all cool with me. I like that. Yeah. We don't know where the peak will be, but the strategy can guarantee you won't miss it, no matter how ridiculously high it is. I believe this is important. I'm taking cues from the shills. The new FUD is to get you to sell early. So that's what I think we need to worry about. Selling half on the way up and half on the way down is a powerful strategy in our position. It allows you to pick a target to start taking profits on the way up, but it also guarantees you won't grossly misjudge the peak and sell yourself short, no pun intended. The counter FUD will try to convince you that there will be an immediate crash after the peak. This is total nonsense and is not the way any short squeezes have gone down. TLDR. Is that really? I don't know. Let me just look at this before I read the TLDR. I feel like GameStop did crash. I don't know. Let's look at this. Like, how long did it take for it to go from 480 to 50? Like, that'll be the proof in the pudding. Let's just look at the pudding. Because if it says otherwise, then this guy's a bunch of BS. He's full of, BS. Let's look. Let's look. Let's look. So again, it peaked. It was at 354 January 27th, and then it went up to about 429, and then it dropped dramatically from 398 all the way down the same day to 316, and then the following, sorry, 239. So it dropped like 50%. Like, I don't know what he's talking about. It did drop within literally 29, pretty much the next week, not week, but the next trading day. So it went all the way down to 50 level, but crashing. It pretty much crashed on February the 4th. So you had a good 29. You know what? I'll count the previous day. So I'll count that too. So 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. But that wasn't a trading day, so I'm not going to count the non-trading days. So you had 27, 28, 29, and then the weekend was off. So you had 3 days, and then one. You have about 3 days. You've got 3 days to look where to sell. And but in that 3 day period, you had 354 all the way down to 230, and then back up to 398. So I mean, yeah, I guess you do have 3 days. It sounds like 72 hours is a good, reasonable time. So you can't sleep on it. You got to be tracking GME and AMC every day. So TLDR, timing the peak is not possible given the information we have. reserving a portion of your shares to sell on the backside of the peak is going to be the best strategy here, given that the magnitude is unknown and the squeeze will last for days. Yeah. Disclaimer, not financial advice, just sharing my own thoughts and strategy. Do what you want to do. What da da da. Edit. Since I'm giving out exit strategy advice, I have even better advice for the hedge funds. Seriously. Now, this is the 200 IQ place, so listen before you leap to the hedge funds. So, what you do is you start to craft a new long term narrative right now. You're not going to release it now. You're going to slowly reveal it over time at a later date. So, the narrative is this: hedge funds. Mr. Griffin had an epiphany at some point in his career. He realized that he hated what he did for a living. He realized he hated the system he was a part of because what the system was doing was wrong. He didn't create that system, but he realized he might be in a unique position to do something about it. This realization terrified him, but he could plainly see that the ship he was piloting was strangling humanity, so he started to craft a plan no one was going to see coming. He and his trusted supporters decided to fall on their swords to expose the underbelly of the beast and create the greatest redistribution of wealth the world had ever seen. I think that's what some hedge funds are actually doing because not all of them are bad. Some of them are actually going long now. So I have to be careful when I say hedge funds, you idiots. No, I'm actually saying shorts, the short sellers, the naked shorts, because there are good hedge funds. Cool story, right? So that's your exit strategy. Now you get to be the surprise hero at the end of the movie instead of the villain. And what do we get in return? You pivot, you finish the job. Give us your value, all of it. The more we get, the better you're going to look, and the more believable your narrative will be. The best part is this: the more you think about that new narrative, the more you'll realize that it's actually what you wish you had done all along. Don't worry, we'll keep it a secret. It'll be an inside joke. You have one last chance to change teams. It's better than tapping out. It'll be more fun this way, I promise. Win win. Um, so that's an interesting. This is an interesting play. Actually, it was a good post. I'm sure there's a lot of hedge funds who are not only short, obviously, but are actually going long. So they have a double pronged strategy. Not all of them, but there are some who are very like high IQ, and they're saying, okay, let's short, like Uncle Bruce said, let's short 1 million shares, but let's go long 1 million shares. So that way, you know, we make money on the way down. But if this goes to 1,000, we're gonna make a hell of a lot of more money. So that's a really good. That's a great post. Thank you for that. So GME is the place to go for all the inside information, all the real knowledge here. Actually, I shouldn't use the I word, but all the good stuff, the creamy stuff, to the moon. I painted this for WSB. Yeah, I want to save that picture. It's really that good. I'm gonna save this pic. You have great talent. Yeah, this was by user. Doesn't even say. Man, sad. Doesn't say his name, his or her name, but oh well, I'm gonna save it. Oh, here it is. Electric easel. Thank you, electric easel. That's a good picture. Good painting or whatever. Yeah, painting. Okay, that's all for today. So I guess one of the takebacks for today. What do we have to know? So what we have to know is this: GameStop and AMC, that is continuing. It's only going to continue to accumulate. Their price is only going to continue to rise, not fall, until March 19th, and we're going to see possibly a massive short squeeze take place on the 19th. But every Friday, uh, we're going to see the price continue to rise, because it seems the hedge funds, or the short sellers, I should say more specifically, have lost their ability to short this stock because there's only less than 100,000 shares available to short. So if there's nothing to short, they can't do anything. They can't even trade it anymore. They just have to pay. They just have to pay for what it's worth. Um, Yeah, so that's all I have to say for today. This is happening on March 19th. I'm not buying any more stock. The only stock I will buy is GameStop when it dips to, under 100. 50 is my buying price. That's my price point, $50. So if it doesn't go to that point, I won't add any additional shares. But I already have what I have, so I'm just gonna hold on to that and just ride this until the end. And whether it's $1,000 a share, whether it's $10,000 a share, whether it's $100,000 a share, whether it's I don't know, a million a share, we're gonna find out. But what that uh, the redditor posted was very good because I was just gonna sell at 10,000 and just leave it be and say goodbye. But I thought after reading that post, he's actually right. He's got a good point because if it goes to over 10,000, it's not gonna just drop from 10,000 to zero. It'll drop from 100,000 to maybe 50,000, but you're still gonna be making money on the way down. And who's gonna be? People are asking who's gonna pay that exorbitant amount. I wouldn't. Well, the hedge funds have to. They have to. It's not a choice. They either go to jail or they pay it. So I don't know. Do they want to make a new friend and drop the soap in jail, or they gonna want to pay up? So they have to make a decision. And if I was them, I would rather pay up than make some friends in jail and pick up the soap and all that and drop the soap and make some friends, if you know what I mean. Not really friends, but be somebody's. So I don't think that's what they want. I don't think anyone wants that unless they're, whatever. But I can't even say what it is. But uh, I don't think they want that. So they're gonna have to pay up. That's just a fact of life. Um, so that's all for today. Thank you very much for your time, and we'll catch you tomorrow for the daily update. Daily update. Yeah. Okay. Glowing.